What's going on, everybody? My name is Tech, and for the last 15 years, I was the #1 seller of pre-owned men's clothing on eBay. But today, we are in Tampa. It's about 3 or 4 hours away from my house. We're going to visit some people I know that own a vintage store in St. Pete. And as always, I'm going to teach you a couple things. You're going to learn a couple things, and we are going to make some money. Let's go.
True story. I don't know if you should put that in there.
This is just in a row, like he's not even searching.
It's been a long time since I dug this stuff out. It's fun.
I'm gonna head over to meet my friend Full Court, and he's very, very humble, so like I don't really know what direction this is gonna go, what information he's going to give. He's kind of secretive too, but he is very, very humble. Anybody who knows him knows that he is one of the goats of the vintage community, and he's always been someone who I have gone to whenever I had a question, and he's always helped answer to the best of his ability. So I don't even know why he agreed to do this. I told him I would be in the area. I would love to, shoot a little video with him. I'm probably going to talk to him for a long time, but only use like 5 minutes of information, and because YouTube has a little bit of a short attention span, so a lot of what we talk about is probably going to go on the editing room floor. But he never shows his face, and he has agreed to come on here and talk to us. So I don't want to waste the opportunity, and I want to try to extract the most value and most information possible from him. So fingers crossed, hopefully it goes well.
It's kind of dark in here. This is a lot of years worth of shit, man.
Oh, but it's all great stuff.
A lot of it came from you, man.
Yeah?
A lot of it.
Oh, I never saw one of these before.
Oh yeah, here, we'll get that.
Oh, I'm home now.
So we can talk about that one. Oh, we can talk about this one. This one's my favorite. One of my favorite.
That one's cool too. How cool are these ones?
Do you remember me buying the Malcolm X trench coat off you?
I do. There it is right there. I see the bottom of it.
That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah?
I don't know if I can get to it.
No, that one's cool though.
That's one of my favorite things I ever got from you.
Yeah?
Yeah. I wanted to maybe talk about that, all the I've gotten from you.
I guess just give the people a proper introduction. You have been dealing with clothing for what, 20 plus years total? Like you've never had a job outside of clothing.
I've never had a job outside of clothing.
No, and you have a beautiful house. I was just telling her, it's like an all-American house, picket
Yeah.
fence, beautiful
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
4 kids raised off of selling clothes. Some of them all the way almost to college,
18.
right? Yep.
18
And
is
then a
my
brand
oldest,
new
and
one.
then I just had one. He's
All
4
from
months
clothing.
old. Yep.
Yeah, so
The whole time, man.
and I was telling them like,
Never had a real job, ever.
so all right, so you have 3 stores.
3 stores.
One in you used to have one in Tampa. That was your first one, Full Court Classics.
Yeah, that one was actually right up the road from here. And that one was Full Court Classics.
Mhm.
The original Instagram was the store's
Yep.
Instagram. And then from there, we opened Houston while that store was still open. Then 2 years ago in January, we bought the building in St. Pete.
Yep, and bought
Bought the building in St.
building.
Pete.
Bought the building. Does not rent it. Bought the building.
Bought the building. And that we just made Full Court St. Pete. And then this year in January, we opened New Orleans.
New Orleans, and
Yeah.
then you also have the manufacturing that you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
The 3 things that I think are your success is, one is the product.
Yeah.
You do not shortchange the product at all, whether it's vintage or
Sure.
new stuff. That you never compromise on the product, never.
I try not to, man, ever.
He is very peculiar, very particular on what he wants, and you have to give it to him for having the discipline to do that. A lot of people source and they pick up a bunch of stuff just to pick up a bunch of stuff, but
Sure.
you are probably the most disciplined person at buying that I have ever met.
It's tough, dude. It's tough. You have to be able to walk away with nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will be like, oh, well, I can't justify this time and yada yada. And I feel like that sometimes. Like if I still go, I really used to feel like that in the beginning with vintage because, dude, you drive around all day and you hit 3 stores and you don't find anything. At that 4th store, you got to buy something.
Yeah.
You're buying,
the single stitch Fort Myers embroidery shirt.
100%, dude, or whatever you can sell on eBay to make a couple bucks profit to justify the 5 hours that you just spent.
You have probably been my longest, most repeat customer.
Absolutely.
Almost just out of chance.
Absolutely. I was buying Tommy Hilfiger off of your eBay 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It had to be like 12 years ago.
Dude, I used to go to the flea market, find the coolest stuff.
Bro, that's when you would find 3 Tommy jackets every thrift store in Florida.
And that was the peak of Tommy. And I remember there became a point where I would find something like a nylon panel hat.
Sure.
And I go, oh,
bro,
Full Court's gonna buy this.
Dude, I guarantee you I still have some of those hats.
And I would get home, I would list it.
It's right on top.
I would list it, and a guy named Full Court in Tarpon Springs used to come and buy
That
it.
was the actual original store. Like,
Yeah.
dude, this one might have came from you.
Absolutely.
This one might have came from you.
And like, I didn't know who this guy
Like,
was.
bro.
All I knew is he kept buying all of my coolest stuff, especially the panel hats.
I still have the price tag attached to this. I paid $99 for this.
You used to pay, you always pay up.
I paid $99. I'll bet you this isn't worth $50 now.
That's how it goes, but you'll have it long enough for where it does come back.
This one's good. I thrifted this one.
I sold you a similar Lotus one, I believe.
I thrifted this one.
This is
$1.
Hilfiger Lotus. That Lotus stuff is so rare. That's a cool one. Sailing gear.
That one's cool.
Sailing gear.
Here's one of the rarest Tommy hats.
Tell us about it.
That's
cycling.
The cycle shit is just hella rare.
This one is like in mint condition. Sheesh. So I used to find like cool stuff at the flea market, and I knew I would list it, and I knew some guy in Tampa would buy it.
Yeah.
I had no idea who he was. And then one day, I saw your Instagram by chance, and I said, wait a second, this is the guy. And then I saw you had a store, and this was at a time where people didn't have vintage stores. Like now, a lot of people have them, but like you were like one of the first ones to have a vintage store, especially in Florida. Then I saw you had a store, you were still buying, and then one day you came to my brick and mortar store. Yeah. And like we didn't talk a lot on Instagram. I don't even know if we really did.
Until I found out about your store. Because I always followed you. I always followed your Instagram. And then I found out about your store through my, at the time, employee. He's like, dude, look at this store in South Florida. And I was like, and this is when you had first opened, dude. You were doing like
crazy stuff.
Wild t-shirts for like $8.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I gotta drive down there.
Yeah.
And the first time I drove down there, you came to the store, we met. It was cool.
Immediately, we hit it off, and you've been coming down every single month. Buy cool stuff.
3 years.
Yeah, buy cool stuff, bring it back to your stores and sell it there.
Through COVID, I was still coming down, all that, dude.
Yeah.
We started in 19, so like 4 years.
Man.
I think we started in 19, because I was coming all through COVID.
Yeah.
I remember, dude, like I would like stop and get a coffee and have to like put a mask on and shit. Like I would have to make sure I had my mat, like, dude.
So number one, your product is what separates you. The 2 other things, they also start with P's. These are the 3 P's of Full Court. Your presentation.
I like shit to look clean. For
your stores are immaculate, and your stores are set up. I don't know if any other stores are like. You have plants.
Yeah.
You have industrial look.
Yeah.
You have the raw concrete. And
this is took a lot of work, man. I had to sell a lot of t-shirts for that raw concrete floor, bro. Believe me, man. Like a lot of t-shirts.
And that taught me that you can come to my store and buy a shirt that I'm selling for $20.
Yeah.
Put it into your store, and it's at a different level.
But
because
I swear,
of the presentation and you having that customer, it's a credit to you.
Thank you. I swear though, you go to one of my stores and it is still priced better than 9 out of 10 vintage stores.
Absolutely.
If I buy a shirt off of you for $12, I'm selling it in my store for $36.
Right.
And you go to another store,
Absolutely.
that's a $60 t-shirt.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have people come to any of one of my stores and buy a shirt for 36 bucks and put it on eBay for 80.
Sure.
All the
absolutely.
time.
But the presentation showed me that also corresponded with the price.
Sure.
The same thing on eBay. If you put more time, more effort
Yeah.
into the presentation of the listing, you could sell it for more money. So my store is more set up kind of like a liquidation depot
Volume.
of the offshoot of the eBay business. And you are the only one who has ever seen the entire eBay
Yep.
business, the entire brick and mortar store. This guy thought I was capping when he first met me.
100%. I thought the part that I thought you were capping on was 300 packages sold a day.
Uh-huh.
When the first time I saw that shit, I was mind blown, dude. They would send their own empty post truck, like the post truck that drives around to cribs, empty post truck to pick up this dude's eBay packages. And dude, I was like, okay, maybe the first time I remember, I was like, all right, well, maybe I caught you on a day where it was like built up.
Yeah.
And then like the very next month, I saw it again and I was like, no way. Like, remember you would like teach me how to like
Yeah.
load it into
Yeah.
the, oh, because this is up, dude.
He would pull up. He would come all the way from Tampa. It's about 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I would be in the middle of doing the packages, and he would roll up. I'm like, okay, jump in. We need all the heads we can
Dude.
get to get this going.
Ridiculous. This one's crazy. This
Oh.
one's on top too.
You might have one of the best Stussy collections.
This one's crazy. I'm actually proud of this one.
Product, presentation, and your photos.
Okay.
On Instagram, you might have some of the best photos around.
I used to.
Dude.
This is probably the best one. I love this one.
Why is this one the best one?
You never see this as a t-shirt. You see it more as a hat. I have two of the hats too, but it's very hard to find the t-shirt. I have seen it, but that's one of my favorite ones. Here's like my favorite Jordan t-shirt ever. The Hoop Heroes t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
It was an artist, Mark Ryden, did the art for this. And then there's like other ones. Here's a Tim Hardaway one. Different dude did this. Oh no, Mark Fredrickson did this one.
Tim Hardaway, you don't see a lot of that.
Kids t-shirt.
It's still cool though.
So cool. Oh, here's one of my favorites. The Pigs is Beautiful t-shirt.
Okay.
So this is the shirt that everybody loves, the movie House of a Thousand Corpses.
Okay.
We did the skateboard with Sid Haig. He's the clown in it. And he's wearing this t-shirt in the movie. So this is the original t-shirt from that. Not that he wore,
Yeah.
but this is the shirt that he's wearing.
Wow.
Here's a crazy one. Spike Lee Air Jordan t-shirt. That one's crazy.
Cool.
This one's crazy.
I never saw that one before.
It's like a $500 Jordan t-shirt.
I'll never see it again either. Oh, that's a jacket?
Yeah. Air Jordan.
That's awesome.
So that was, I don't know, it was like 94, I believe. I'm bad at that stuff. I'm bad at remembering exact dates. But it was for the Air Jordan. So I started doing this, I would say around 2008, 9. And then at the beginning, it was all eBay. That's all I did. It's a long story how I discovered vintage, but I discovered that an old Nike hat or an old polo hat was worth money pretty early for this area especially. It's always been a thing in LA and New York.
Right.
It's always been a thing other places, but I discovered it pretty early and it was because of eBay. But yeah, for like 7-8 years it was just eBay. And then the collection got so big, like basically my eBay like inventory got so big that it outgrew me and my girls at the time where we lived. Dude, it was everywhere. It was in our living room. It was in our bedroom.
We've been
It was
there.
f***ing everywhere.
We've been there.
So I was just like, dude, I think I can open a store and make this work. And again, it was the same year Round 2 opened. We opened the same year. Us, Round 2, and Boneyard all opened within 12 months of each other. There was always vintage stores, but they were like vintage stores that catered to like women's 60s and 70s
Right.
dresses
Right.
or men's like outerwear. It would be, you would walk in a store and it would just like engulf you in disgusting smells of wool.
Your original store was about an hour outside of Tampa, so like
Yep.
it's not even in Tampa.
Dude, it was literally like not much bigger than this storage unit.
Was that the one that I went to?
No, that was
the
Clearwater.
second one.
Yeah, that one was actually the second one. I don't even talk about the Tarpon one, dude, because I literally I was open 3 days a week. I ran my eBay store out of it. It was like a storage unit.
Gotcha.
The rent was $750.
Okay. And then the Clearwater one was the one that I went to.
That was the first like store. Dude, we didn't even have a cash register in the first store.
So
I was running like sales, like credit card sales on a iPhone and a PayPal
There
reader.
you go.
Like we did, dude. But hey, I'm gonna call it a store, bro. Like we
works.
opened the same year as round two, and I mean, if you found the dudes who opened round two, the dudes, I still talk to these dudes.
Yeah.
Like they remember, man.
Yeah.
I will say there were stores that were open. There's a couple dudes in New York, there's a couple dudes in LA, and there's a couple dudes in Canada who had this type of store before we did.
Sure.
In this area, you know?
But not in Florida though.
Not in Florida.
No.
We were definitely the first store in Florida.
That's wild.
Like that was that kind of vintage. 80s and 90s streetwear style vintage.
Dude, you were buying the craziest Tommy Hilfiger stuff that I
Dude,
stopped.
here. This is a wild rugby, dude. Like the work that went into this is nuts.
My wife says I had one of those before.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I'm sure I bought a couple from you.
From the picture, yeah.
This is the one he's wearing.
Yep.
Still have like 3 or 4 of them, dude. I have one that's new with tags. It's not here though. It's at my house. I mean, dude, I could have sold this for, dude, probably $1,500 back in the day. Absolutely.
That's how much these
I
are
told
going
you
for?
that Tommy bought back a bunch of off of me,
Yeah,
right? Like
I'm
he was
sure
trying to
at the time.
grow his archive.
I think he bought 4 pieces for me in one day. Dude, at
Bro,
that
he bought-
time, that was one of my best days I ever had on eBay, and that came at the right time.
This changed my life, man.
See?
He bought $12,000 worth of shit for me.
On where, eBay?
Yeah, no, like his marketing person hit me up and got my email, and we sold him $12,000 worth of his own stuff back to him.
That must have been
Like
around
they're
the same time.
Oh, I'm sure it was like 16, 17.
yeah, because
I have the photo. I'll dig up the photo and I'll send it to you.
Because I sold like 4 or 5 jackets in a row for full price.
Yeah.
And one was the big flag Tommy jacket. One was the one with the big patch on the back. And then, I also had the big flag fleece. Full price, no offers. And I just saw bang, 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 bang. And then I Googled the person's name and they worked for Tommy Hilfiger Archives.
It was a lady. It was probably the same lady.
Sure.
Because she did not argue one price.
And she
was just
came
like,
down here?
No. I shipped it to her. It was all through email. I showed her this rugby. I said it's $750. Okay, I'll take it.
So you were
showed
just
her this
sending
rugby.
pictures?
I just sent like 50 pictures of
Wow.
gear. It's crazy, dude. I still have like the photo, like packaging it up. This was before the video.
$12,000?
$12,000, dude. Dude, it seriously like changed the whole business for me, man. Yeah. True story. I don't know if you should put that in there.
Why?
I don't know, maybe.
Why?
It's up to you.
I think it's a cool story.
It's a real story, dude. It really
No, I
happened.
remember they
really
came
happened.
through and bought a bunch of stuff from me, and then right after that, Drew and Jesse had that pop up for Hilfiger, and they
Yeah.
bought a bunch from me to have that pop up.
Yeah.
So between both of us, we probably sent them a good amount of stuff.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite polo pieces. It's a crazy rugby.
That's something also. You really like certain colors.
Yeah. Like an Easter egg. That's like an Easter egg, dude.
Yeah, and you'll save up cool shirts like this for a year, and then you'll make
Oh, yeah.
one photo
Yeah.
and make it look awesome.
That one's really cool.
Oh,
It's got the patch. This one's really cool. It's got the same patch, but like different build.
and then sometimes they'll have the high-tech patch on it.
Yeah, I don't have any high-tech stuff, I don't think. Maybe a couple hats left. Oh, dude. I love these jackets right here. Oh, sick. I have it here. This is my favorite polo piece ever. One day I'm going to recreate this for full court. This thing is wild.
Why is this one your favorite?
Dude, so a store in New York sold this to Drake, like super early on of Drake's career, and he wore it a bunch. That's not why, but you never see this, dude.
I've never seen that one.
You never see this, man. It's a legit cotton hoodie with cargo pockets on it. Like, dude, it's like a cargo pant pocket on it.
What do you think this one is worth?
I've been
I'm not saying you don't have
I've been
to
offered $2,000 for this.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, nah, dude. $2,000 I've been offered for that one. These went down a lot.
Those are like 2,000.
Bro, they were like 3,000, 4,000. And mine is extra. Typically the liner's red. Mine's navy. And the real nerds like are into that type of shit. Because they're, oh, my liner's navy, yours is red.
But with the polo, like, the most obscure stuff is the craziest stuff.
Dude, I mean,
Like, why did they even make
this is
Like, it makes
super
no sense.
early 90s, man. Like, whoever designed this was so ahead, man. This is so something that would be made by, like, a streetwear brand now. 100%, dude.
Yeah, I could see
All
that.
this stuff, man. I mean, it's all early.
I'm sure you sold a lot to the polo designers on Wooster Street. I've sold a lot to them through eBay. And I also sold a lot to the Supreme designers too. I'm sure you've had your fair share.
So much. Here's a crazy, like, RL67, like, sailing jacket with the fireman clips.
All right, so you guys didn't see in there, but literally all of these were just in a row. Like, he's not even looking through. It's just, oh, this one is next. This one is next.
These are cool, like, polo hunting jackets. So they look like an outdoor company jacket, like a barn coat, and then like a Carhartt. This is like a legit Carhartt style jacket.
It is, huh?
Yeah, like the Detroit. This is like an LL Bean jacket. I want this jacket in my size. It's got the flaps and everything.
Flaps. This is crazy. And can you explain what kind of treat this is? Like, no one has ever seen this stuff before.
I've let like my employees and a couple friends from the area look at this. Like, this one's really cool. I've never seen another one of these. It's actually new with tags. This one's really cool. I like Anoraks a lot.
I sold you a similar one. It didn't have this on it. It was blue, remember? Like 2 months ago.
Damn it, that one's at my house.
Right?
Yes, yes.
It's
It has a pony.
yeah.
That one's my size.
Yeah. It's the same thing, I think. Just doesn't have the polo sport patch. It's blue. Yeah. And I love selling him stuff that he gets excited about, because I know it comes right here.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that one is.
This one's wild. Like the fade stripe. I have a bunch of this stuff.
Yeah, you do. I've seen you make a couple posts with this kind of stripe.
They're all right. I'll show all of them. Here's some more like fade stripe stuff.
This is just in a row, like he's not even searching.
Yeah. There's 3 different ones. So this one, the stripes go that way. That one, the stripes go that way.
And this is all stuff
And
you've
then
had
this-
for a long time. Like,
Oh,
it just
yeah.
didn't become cool. Now that this kind of like worn stuff
This
in
is my
style.
favorite one.
That one's
No,
pretty
but this stuff came like this.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying you bought this stuff a long time
Oh,
ago.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
before people were like, "Oh, let me find like worn stuff." And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, you were already
Oh, yeah.
already doing this.
Oh yeah. It's been a long time since I dug this stuff out, man. It's fun to look at.
You have the crown because Thrift Lord gave it to you.
Yeah.
You have the crown of the biggest and the best dead stock wrap tee haul of all time. And what's crazy about this is you were over by my place and we were sitting at Taco Bell, as we always do.
Yeah.
And you go, "Oh, I just got the text of a lifetime." And I
Yeah.
go, "What?" And you go, "I've been working on this deal for 12 years.
Yep.
And you said, "I'm not going to really talk about it because I don't want to jinx it,
Yep.
but I've been working on this deal for 12 years. And the next day,
I went.
you dropped the post that has been seen around the world. It still
Yeah.
pops up on my Explore feed today.
Amazing, dude.
It popped
That's
up like
amazing.
2 days ago.
That's amazing.
The biggest, best wrap tee haul
It's
of
by
all time.
far my most liked Instagram post.
For sure.
Like by far.
So you have been working on that. I think you said 12 years.
Yeah, 12 years, dude.
Go ahead, tell the story.
So originally, it was 11, 12 years ago. I walked into the spot and there was one hanging,
Okay.
right? I bought it. I made a big deal out of it. I didn't make a big deal.
Well, hold on. 12 years ago, rap tees weren't popping. No one cared about them.
But it was the very beginning. It was the very beginning of it. I was lucky where I found it like right before the rap tee book came out.
Okay.
That's what really like schooled people on it.
Mm-hmm.
That, and then like people like me and Sean and my homie that owns Boneyard, he used to sell vintage. We helped get that shit going also.
Mm-hmm.
So I found one, and it was a really rare one. I wish I still had it. It was a Black Moon front and back bootleg rap tee. So I found that one, and then I asked the lady, I was like, hey, do you have any more of these? And she was like, we might. She was like, go do something for half an hour and come back.
And this was 12 years ago.
This was 12 years ago.
Okay.
So me and my wife, we went and got food. I was just like, dude, like this could change our lives if she has more of these. Because at the time, they were still $300 t-shirts.
Okay.
$300 to $500. I'll get to that, but dude, so we went, we ate at Yaya's, the chicken spot when I used to eat meat, and ate at Yaya's. I was freaking out the whole time. Dude, we go back. This lady had an entire box of rap tees. This was the first time.
Okay.
And at that time, some of these had never even been seen, dude. It was the Ghostface Killer with like the mask on, with like Raekwon on it. It was like 6 of those. It was like 4 Nas t-shirts. Dude, it had to be like 30 Tupac t-shirts.
Wow.
A bunch of Space Jam t-shirts with fucking R. Kelly on them. Dude, but this was before all of that.
Sure.
So, dude, it was a $400
Highly
t-shirt.
desirable, yeah.
Dude. And so I bought them all, dude. They were $5 a piece. I sold them all. I think the cheapest I was like $150 for like Tony Braxton tees.
Okay.
And dude, the whole time the lady was like, yo, I have more stuff upstairs. I have more stuff upstairs. And just would not get it. She would tell me she would have more, but she would just like not let me up there. She would not get it. So for 12 years, dude, me and my wife went back to this spot over and over and over. I mean, dude, she knew my first name.
Sure.
Like, I'd been there so many times, she knew my first name. I tried everything to get up there, dude. I offered her money. I offered to pay for employees to work the store so me and her could go up there. I mean, I did everything I could think of doing. I was always polite. I was always, you know, super understanding.
How many times do you reckon you went over there and checked?
Bro, once a month for 12 years. Once a month.
So like 100 times.
100 times, dude. She knew my first name. Like, oh, Corby, you're back again. Like
100 times and 100 times no.
100 times. What happened was they owned the building.
Yeah.
And they owned the building next to it.
Yeah.
They sold the building next to it, so everything had to be cleared out. That's what I was patient enough, and I waited the entire time, and I was always kind. Dude, there would be like sprinkles. They bring down a couple hats. They bring down a couple kids t-shirts, and I'd always buy everything.
Sure.
I would buy everything.
Sure.
Just to show them, if you ever let me up here, I'm not messing around. Like I'm buying everything.
But also 100 times and 100 times no. There could have been nothing up there.
I knew like in my soul, dude. I knew in my soul, and like I wish my wife was here, dude, because she was there the first time I went, which was like only a couple years, maybe only a year into me even selling vintage.
Okay.
And then she was there for the
last
main dig where I bought everything.
So, because a lot of times, like, oh yeah, I got all this stuff, and then when the time comes, ain't nothing. You knew.
I knew, bro. I knew. Wow. I knew. These people don't throw things away. Okay. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, they own the buildings. Stock that doesn't sell, it goes upstairs, and they're going to do something with it one day. I knew, bro.
But you also, in the back of your mind, had to know that this was a race against time.
Dude, yeah.
Because these shirts are gonna disintegrate one day.
Absolutely, dude.
So, all right,
Absolutely.
we're sitting at Taco Bell after you've gone there 101 times, and they
I got
politely
the text.
said,
You saw me get
"No,
the
thank you."
text, and I was just like, I'm not getting my hopes up, but like,
That's what you said.
this could be it.
Yeah, and
it was it.
You were very nonchalant.
Yeah.
Almost, I didn't even think this was even going to be that big of a deal. You just go, oh, I just got the text of a lifetime, and you just took a bite of your taco and just kept pushing.
Yeah.
And then you go, I'll let you know.
It was like a learned thing to like, because I've dug a lot of dead stock at this. I've went all over the country doing it. So you just can't show.
No.
You gotta have a poker face.
Can't get
man.
your hopes up.
And I mean, there's a video on my Instagram of me like going through the shirts, and I'm just like, oh, sick. Fuji's tea.
Yeah.
Oh, another Fuji's
But
tea.
inside.
Dude, inside I'm
1,000.
exploding. Like, damn, this is the sickest thing ever.
All right, so you got how many teas total? About?
I think it was 56.
56. What were the price range?
I mean, the most expensive one I sold was a Wu-Tang shirt. I got 3,000 for it. And that was, I mean, that was after COVID.
Yeah.
During COVID, that might have been a $5,000 t-shirt.
So like the baseline of
I still have one.
So like the baseline, what kind of price?
500.
500 all the way up to 3,000.
Yeah.
And you had 56 of them.
Yeah.
And
I still have probably like 25. I gave my girl a bunch. I kept a bunch.
what was your favorite one? I know my favorite one. My favorite one, your girl found, and there was only one.
Oh, the Bone?
The Bone Thugs. That was my favorite one.
She wears that one a lot.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
What was your favorite one?
Probably the Wu-Tang shirt. I've never seen that one before. I guess, I mean, there's dudes who are way more, like how I am with like Polo and Stussy. There's dudes who are like that with those t-shirts. And I guess that it has been seen, but I'd personally never seen that one.
You love a good dead stock dig.
Oh, yeah.
Love a good dead stock dig. And you've had your fair share of some very, very good ones. Are you going to be able to top the feeling of the Rap Tea Haul?
That one was so different because of how much effort it took. I don't think I'll ever, I mean, I could walk in a store and find 500 of them.
Right.
And it not feel like that. That shit was just like, dude, it was like closing a chapter of my life, dude. Like, no shit, I went once a month for over 10 years, dude.
Wow.
And dude, I mean, like, it pays to be nice to people. Because, dude, I went so many times, these people went through like multiple store managers. I would find the store manager, I would give them my phone number and be like, hey, if you ever go upstairs and bring stuff down, please call me. Bro, I went through like multiple managers in this store. And it was not a clothing store.
Yeah. But like you said, it
store.
pays to be nice. I've never heard a negative word from you ever. And when we went to the flea market, people were commenting like, oh, you guys are so respectful. You guys say thank you all the time. Like,
it's gonna help you get to where you want to get.
Absolutely.
Not like losing your cool when someone tells you no. You know, like you got to be ready for that. And when someone says yes,
you also got to be ready for that.
Act the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, do you think there were other people on the hunt for those, or you think
not at that store, dude?
No?
No one knew.
You were the
no
only
one knew.
What made you go in the store in the first place and see the first one?
Because I knew what kind of stores sold those t-shirts.
Gotcha.
And that information came from my homie in Chicago.
Gotcha.
They were a few years before me with the dead stock. They had it a lot easier than us, though. It was a lot more available in a city like Chicago than a city like Tampa.
Absolutely.
It was much more available.
And this is how small the vintage world is. That dead stock dig in Chicago that you're referring to, you went there.
Yeah.
And then I went there a couple of years later.
Yeah.
And you knew exactly where I got that stuff from.
Exactly where you got it from.
That's how small the community is.
When I went to that dig, I didn't have the capital. I was just like, oh, these are cool. I'll buy these. I was buying one piece. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if I would have went back there now, I would have bought everything the same way you did. Yeah. You know,
but
like
I think
you had to
I
get
was
to
the
that
last
point.
one though, because
no, there is nothing left.
Yeah, I didn't get it in the beginning. Like the guy from Chicago or you. I was like scraps.
All it is a bunch of like disintegrated footwear.
Yeah.
And like they own that building. It's still open. That store's still open. We could get into that and do a whole episode on that too.
Yeah.
Like I could dig up all the photos and like say like where they came from and all of that. That'd be fun. Dude, we could go through t-shirts for days. We could do another, if you want to do like another video and just go through like a bin of t-shirts.
If you guys want another one, you heard him. He's offering. If you want another one, put it in the comments. Like I said, I'm shocked he agreed to do this.
I don't do shit like this.
Just from what he showed, I'm already pumped.
Yeah.
That stuff was beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And just sharing a little bit of your story, I appreciate it. I know you're super busy. I know you got the new baby. So I do appreciate you taking the time and
You're welcome, man.
and doing this and
For all the
showing
things
people
you've done for me, I told my girl like I got to do this for him.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Heavily appreciate it.
You're welcome, man.
Thank you for educating the people on some cool stuff that they will
I got it,
probably
man.
never see again. Appreciate it.